What really happened when Bayern Munich took a 2-0 lead against Real Madrid and still left the game with doubts? In the latest episode of the Einfach Mal Luppen podcast, Toni Kroos didn't hold back. His analysis wasn't about tactics alone, it was about mentality, control, and one critical turning point that changed everything. And honestly, his breakdown reveals something deeper about elite football, why some teams dominate and others crumble when it matters most. Let's break it all down. 'Cause here's the shocking part. Bayern Munich were in total control. 2-0 up, dominating the game. And yet, instead of finishing Real Madrid, they let them come back. Why? Let's start with the first half. Bayern Munich played exactly how you'd expect from a top European giant. They were aggressive. They were organized. They were efficient. Going 2-0 up against Real Madrid is not something that happens easily, and doing it away from home? Even more impressive. According to Kroos, this wasn't surprising. Bayern have actually performed well against Madrid in recent years. They've shown they can compete at the highest level. Technically and tactically, they were more than capable. But here's the key point Kroos emphasized. 2-0, the game should have been mentally over. Not just on the scoreboard, but psychologically. That's when a top team kills the match. Instead, something strange happened. Rather than pushing forward, Bayern Munich started to retreat. They lowered their intensity. They defended deeper. They gave up control. And this is exactly what surprised Kroos the most. 'Cause at that moment, Bayern had everything. Control of the ball, control of the tempo, control of the confidence. Kroos expected them to do one of two things. Either calmly maintain possession and suffocate the game, or go for the kill, score a third, maybe even a fourth goal. But they did neither. And that hesitation? That's where the game began to turn. Kroos highlighted something very important. Bayern's problem wasn't ability, it was details. Small moments, tiny decisions, mental lapses. And in high-level football, those details decide everything. The biggest example? The mistake by Upamecano against Vinicius Jr. One moment, one error, one shift in momentum, and suddenly, Real Madrid came alive. This is where Kroos' insight becomes even more interesting. He described Real Madrid as one of the most dangerous teams in the world when the game becomes open. And think about it. When matches turn chaotic, end-to-end attacks, transitions, counterattacks, that's where Madrid thrives. It's their identity. So when Bayern stepped back and allowed the game to open up, they were playing directly into Madrid's hands. And from minute 60 to 75, Madrid looked like a completely different team. Even while trailing 2-0, they created dangerous chances. They pushed forward. They believed. That's something you can't measure with stats. That's mentality. Kroos even suggested something fascinating. This game could have easily ended 3-3. Let that sink in. From Bayern's total dominance to a scenario where they could have lost control completely. In the end, the score stayed 2-1. But the feeling? Very different. 'Cause Bayern didn't just miss a win. They missed the chance to finish the tie. According to Kroos, they had the opportunity to win 3-1, 4-1, and practically secure qualification. But instead, they left the door open. So what's the real lesson here? The highest level of football, it's not just about talent. It's about mental strength, decision-making under pressure, and knowing when to kill the game. Bayern Munich had everything they needed to dominate Real Madrid. But for just a few moments, they hesitated. And against a team like Madrid, that's all it takes. What do you think? Was it a tactical mistake or a mental collapse from Bayern? And can they fix it in the second leg? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.